Welcome to the show. After the show, it happens right after the show. Cheers.
Oh boy, the Soul Stone.
It's
This
very
made my brain hurt.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Yeah. The whole situation is just, it's odd. So like, you know that Gamora is gone, and it wouldn't be as big of an issue if not for Nat also being gone, and them also not figuring out a way to bring her back.
Well, it's just so weird because it's like, on the one hand, you kind of want the Vormir deaths to really have to mean something.
Right.
But if they go back and get Gamora, it's just like, well, can you just go back and get Nat? You know, could you just do it? Like,
right.
We still have the time machine.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah. It's
you
like
know?
You could go and you could still secure her back, and it's just like the time travel element of this movie gets so confusing because there is sort of that, like, there is no ripple effect. It doesn't work that way. But at the same rate, it seems like it doesn't not work that way in some capacities as well. Like,
it's
like,
weird. Like how does... I was wondering about this more like, how does Steve age back in? Because you'd be like on a branched sort of timeline rather than... Like, you went to that exact past, but then that sort of started moving forward over here.
Right.
A little bit. But so I think... But then my theory for how Steve got back is that he just still has the GPS locator and he knows exactly when and where to be.
I still can't figure out what it means for, like, Peggy's granddaughter, who's, like, the girl across the hall from him in Civil War, I think.
Here's what's happening.
Okay.
Cap, regular timeline A, happens. He gets frozen in ice, right? He meets the granddaughter. They kiss, whatever, fine. She was married to someone else. Then he travels back in time over here, to talk to Peggy. Still his present right here. New future for Peggy that happens. Then when he gets old, he's like, zip, I gotta go give this shield to Sam real quick at this moment in time on this timeline. And that's it.
So you think that...
I think he grows old in a separate timeline.
And he found a way back to our timeline to give him the shield?
Yes. Well, he still has the little GPS wrist time thing, and they'd have more PIM particles then, so he could just do whenever.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, that might make him old just for the sake of removing him from whatever. It seems like he probably could have easily just been like, also, I'm back! Here's the shield. I'm gonna go do a thing. Bye!
Oh, sure,
But that's
sure.
less, like, dramatic and cinematic, but... I think that to me is the only way it really makes sense within their own rules. And it still does make sense.
Well, and so that's, I think the most frustrating thing about it, and like the best part about it, is the fact that they explain in the movie how time travel works.
Right.
Like how there's not this butterfly
Not
effect,
a loop,
and it's not,
it's a branch.
Right. But it just, it's so unclear at this moment whether or not, like, we have entered a Marvel Cinematic Universe that includes a multiverse.
Right.
Like scenarios where other stuff is happening.
Yeah. It is unclear.
Yeah.
It is tricky. Because, like, you get the feeling that they had Loki steal the Tesseract so that they could bring him back again. Right? But,
okay.
yeah, so they can bring Loki back again.
Right.
But, if they're following their own rules, he should exist on a separate timeline.
He exists in his own branch where, like, there's this own set of circumstances happening. Like, where Thanos is defeated and Loki is still at large, right?
And the one where Loki escapes, basically...
Thanos leaves that same timeline. Thanos leaves that same timeline and comes to us. So he comes, you know, like you were just saying how, like, Cap and Peggy, so, like, Thanos comes from over here to ours.
Right.
But, like, Loki still exists over there, continuing forward in a world where Thanos has left it and died over here.
Maybe not, because the one where Thanos comes from, so they have, to me, you have the main timeline, and then they travel back to 3 separate parts. So I think those 3 separate parts are all their own timeline now.
Oh, so all
you have New York timeline, you have Asgard timeline, and you have, what's the third one they go to? Vormir timeline, and then I guess subset of New York timeline, you have 1970 timeline.
Right.
So, whatever, all that's there. In the New York timeline, at the very least, Loki escapes and just goes back and reports to regular Thanos and is like, look, I got the Tesseract.
Oh, that's true.
And so, that's weird.
That's weird.
Because it seems like there'd be another Thanos then, but he's only, conquering that timeline. So, and the Mind Stone would have been removed from that timeline, so he still couldn't complete the Infinity Gauntlet. Is that making sense?
I don't know.
It is in my mind.
I can't decide if I think it feels shallow to think, like, we're happy with the way the whole package got wrapped up because it's good for the characters in our little pocket.
Yeah.
But it's like, it might mean devastation for other pockets, but ours is fine, so we're cool with it. I feel like that feels like a little, like you want to think, like, they corrected everything everywhere, and it's, like, all solved.
Yeah. I think you want to think that. And I guess, realistically, I said just that the Mind Stone got removed, but Steve would have brought that back. So really, nothing should have changed anywhere else because he puts them all back at the exact time, except for the Loki Tesseract problem. That's the only one that doesn't get put back. And that is where the Ancient One says, like, if you take a Infinity Stone, that's when you have a real... So that's the only one they couldn't have put back.
So, I feel like what I really want is, like, a really good pictograph that shows, like, all the ultimate stuff. But, like, what we might need is just for more action to happen so that we can start, like, placing all of the information into these timelines. So, like, right now, they don't go far enough forward to actually, like, put any events inside of them for you to better understand, like, oh, this is the one where it's just Loki surviving.
I wonder if that's what the Loki TV show will be then, like Loki existing in timeline B.
Right.
Where he escapes. And then maybe the finale of that show is like he finds a way to cross back into the main MCU.
That would be interesting.
Like maybe Loki will collect the entire Infinity Gauntlet and be like, haha!
I've got it. That'd be interesting.
That'd be fun. I'd be down.
Loki is really like... Everybody talks about how great a villain Thanos is, but like Loki is such a popular character.
Right.
Like... that I could see them continuously. And it's so weird that Loki's so popular when, like, the Thor movies are largely, like, not, like, I would classify, like, in the top tier. You got Ragnarok.
Well, Ragnarok, it's sort of weird because it seems like the first two exist on, like, a much lower tier, and then Ragnarok is, like, near the top, and then...
Oh, well, then you've got Avengers,
and then you have Avengers is where Loki comes in big.
Yeah. Which is a big movie, but I would still place it mid-tier. Yeah. So confusing. I'm sure that this was like the least fun show after the show because we don't have like visuals on screen that are helping explain all this stuff.
Maybe we will soon.
But maybe everybody followed it perfectly.
Maybe everyone's minds are just collectively blown. We should totally just explain the timelines at some point.
Yeah, we should do that. Coming soon, maybe, hopefully. We'll see. You'll probably know in the future. Anyway, bye!